Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. We're going to talk about real estate because it's tanking fast. Guys, permits for multifamily homes have plunged just recently as yet one more sign that we are literally watching the real estate market tank, and it is going to tank much further. Guys, you need to be prepared for this because this is the greatest opportunity of your life. If you want to purchase the real estate crash course where I teach people how to identify the different phases of this crash, when to buy and when to sell, go ahead and I'll take a second, put a 70% off coupon code down below for that course. It's $300, and I can guarantee you this. You go through that class, you will save way more than $300 because you will be buying homes at the right time for the right price and saving money on exorbitant fees. All right, so here we go. This is out of Zero Hedge. I can't wait to tell you this story because it's a really interesting thing, because as rents were skyrocketing, we're all of a sudden starting to see across the country rents coming down. I know not all over the country, but when I say across the country, we're talking about larger metropolitan areas where people are literally going, nope, that's it, I'm not paying that much. And so as people move out, their landlords go, oh, I'm going to raise the rent again. They find out, oh, wait a minute, I can't do that. Subsequently, also, you're seeing multifamily permits dropping, like we're going to talk about this, because there are builders and there are developers out there going, you know what? That's it. I can't get this to pencil out. The cost of building this, also on top of that, my borrowing costs, I'd have to charge X amount for rent. Well, if X is up here and the renters don't have that much and I've got to charge this much, it's not worth it. So they're totally scrapping projects across the country. Here we go. Following March's plunge in building permits, analysts expected a mixed picture for April, with starts lower again but permits unchanged. The reality was different, with housing starts jumping 2.2% month over month. Remember, time of the year, cyclical, all that kind of stuff. And permits fell 1.5% month over month, but also had a major revision. So their major revision was upward from 8.8% to a negative 8.8% to a negative 3%. All right. It says right here, given the massive revisions, this data seems utterly useless, but this leaves the total levels for starts and permits back to pre-COVID levels. So remember, guys, we are now back to pre-COVID levels where things were rough. 2018 and 2019 were being set up for a big recession start, and the Federal Reserve and the government both knew that, okay? So now we left the crazy 3 years of COVID. They're now behind us. We are now back to, oh man, we're going into recession. I already believe we are in a recession. The consumer's tapped, the consumer's broken. And worst of all, but best for us that are preparing for this, the consumer's mindset is now immediately changing. It's changing, it's focusing on, oh my gosh, things are bad, they're getting worse, I need to stop spending. And that is only going to exacerbate this problem. It says the unexpected drop in permits was triggered by a second straight monthly plunge in multifamily units, down 9.7% month over month. Now think about this. To see that kind of plunge, 9.7% month over month, but not only that, it's the second month in a row. And we're going to see more trends, just like what came out in Home Depot, where this was their second quarter of bad news. You're going to see this trend. It's not just going to go for 1 or 2 quarters, 1 or 2 months and stop. You are going to see this play out deeper, deeper, deeper as we move into the fall. Now it says here, single family starts were at 846,000, which were up 1.3% from their highest since December of 22. Okay, so that's not that great of news. Multifamily starts, 542,000, up 5.2% from a narrow range over the past year, which was up from 515. It says, but on the permit side, it was much more mixed. April single family permits were at 855,000, which were up 3.1% from 829, and at the highest since 22. And those are single family permits. April multifamily permits, 502,000, which were down 9.7% from 556, which and the lowest since May of 21. So May of 21, that was a pretty bad time frame too for real estate starts. And so you got to start putting these puzzle pieces together and see that this is literally degrading as we speak. Now, what does it mean for you? This is what I think. A lot of builders and permit developers did the exact same thing in 2004, 2005. As the Federal Reserve was raising rates, they found themselves getting their margins squeezed tighter and tighter and tighter, ultimately to where they couldn't flip a house or it was not penciling out to build a multifamily apartment complex or condo complex. And so they finally just said, we're done. We stopped. And everything shuttered. We're seeing things like lumber telling us the facts. Nobody's buying it, so it's crashing in price. And the point being is that we need to start really realizing that those indicators are telling us that something much bigger is on the horizon. That's why it's so very important that you get prepared now. How do you get prepared? Get out of debt, stop getting into crazy debt, store some dollars off to the side, right? Because there are going to be some amazing deals out there because of panic selling. Whereas in the last 3 years, you've seen panic buying in everything from Louis Vuitton bags to homes. There's going to be panic selling. So you're going to want that. And then you're going to want some inflation hedges because you never know. What if the Federal Reserve gets it wrong? They have got a good track record of doing that. And technically, gold tends to do really well. And remember, the day that the Federal Reserve finally pivots and does indeed start to lower rates, gold always does very well in a lowering rate situation because along with rates going down, the Federal Reserve and the government usually issue lots and lots of new money, which just devalues our currency and causes the price of gold in dollar terms to go up. All right, guys, that being said, I thank you so much for watching. I'll put a 70% off discount link to the real estate crash course. And if you want to buy gold, I'll go ahead and put a link to a company that I use to deliver gold to your house. They work great and they've worked really good for Ninja Nation. All right, guys, that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.